So yesterday we were discuss about how the Pig Latin program. So each and every program in Pig Latin is going to be start with the load command, whereas we are going to be load any data file. By that we are going to be mentioned as which columns are available in that particular record or particular data set. We are going to be mentioned, and finally we are going to be write some simpler code to find the data out of it. So here I shown the example where we are going to be find a particular flight, how many kilometers it was flight. So as of this one load 2013 underscore subset dot csv file, and using fixed storage, the comma is going to be used to divide each and every column in that particular file, that is 2013 underscore subset dot csv file. So each and every column is going to be divided by using a comma. So year is one column and month is another column, and day of month is another column, day of week, departure time, and everything. These are the various columns in a particular CSV file. CSV file is nothing but a simple Excel file. It contains n number of columns and number of rows. Out of these are the fields. These are the column fields which they mentioned here. So what we are going to be find out of this? We are going to be find the distance. So how much distance it was flight by using Pig Latin statement, we are going to be find out mileage underscore rec is the data type we are going to, that is a variable name we are going to be used, and group record all. So from that we are going to be group it all. Then total miles equal to for each mile record to generate the sum of record dot distance from this record dot distance. So this is a identifier records used to load from this record dot the distance. So distance is going to be calculated here. So we are going to be dump the total. We are going to be dump the total miles. So what is the meaning of dump here? So here mainly we saw about load statement, group statement, for each, generate, and even dump statement. So what is the? Can anyone say that what is the meaning of dump? Dump command why we are using? The last class we discussed. I'm going to be briefly explain again what is the meaning of that one. Can anyone say that what is the meaning of dump statement? So what is going to be use of this statement in this program? Anyone? Dump statement. So for that I gave a simple example how we are going to be using C. Anyone remember that one? Anyone? Dump statement is going to be display the output on the screen. For this dump statement, we can use one more statement also. What is that one more statement we can use? Even if you use that value which we are going to be print on the screen, that we are going to be used for next assessment or next processing. We are going to be use another statement. Can anyone remember what is another statement that one we may use for dump or store? So I will show you. Simply listening, or I don't know what you are doing. So the first one load statement is going to be HDFS. Then for aggregation, we are going to be use a group command. Group statement we are going to be used for agreement, and we are going to be use a sum group all also we need to calculate and processing. So aggregating a single group, aggregating the tuples into a single group, we are going to be use the all statement. So sum statement, it is including the following sum of statements required to proceed through all statements in a global sum. So here we are going to be find the total miles about the flight. So that we are going to be find the total sum. We are going to be use the group aggregation. Then for each and generate, it is used to generate the statements transform. So transform is nothing but we are going to be calculation part is going to be take place here. Next one is about dump statement. What is the use of dump statement? It is going to be show the result on the screen. If at all we want to use the result for next assessment or next processing, we are going to use the store to store that particular data in order to use for the next one. So that is the dump statement used to execute the big Latin statement and display the result on the screen. So it just display the result on the screen. If at all we want to use that result for next purpose, we are going to use the store statement. So after that, yesterday we saw about. So look at the big data types and its syntax. So what are the big data types? So data types means what? So we are representing data in the program. So data is not only a one single format. We have a various type of format of there in data. So each type of data, how we are going to be mentioned, how we are going to be store it in memory. So for that, what are the data representations are there? Then how we are going to be representing the program, that is mentioned in the data types. So big data types make up the data models, how the big things of the structure of a data and its processing with big. Processing with big, a data model gets defined when the data is loaded. So each and every big Latin program is going to be start with the load. So when the data is loaded, then we need to think about so how the data is going to be processed. For that processing, so what type of data is there, how we want to think it. So for that we are going to be using here the data models. Any data you want to load in a peak from the disk is going to be have a particular schema and structure. So even it may be a structure is a semi-structure or structure structured also. So it may have something a particular schema and structure. In general terms, through big data types can be broken into two categories: scalar types and complex types. So total data was two parts, two categories. One is the scalar part, another one is complex. Scalar type contains a single value, whereas complex types contains other types such as tuples, bags, maps, and etc. So fields are those things. So single value, a single field is known as a scalar type, and the complex contains the other types such as tuples, bags, and maps. So we already discussed about these tuples, bags, and maps. Have you remember? So what is the representation of tuple? How we are going to be represent? So what type of brackets we are going to be used to represent a tuple? Can anyone remember for bag and map? So for tuple we are going to be use a normal bracket. For bag we are going to be use flower braces, and the map we are going to be using square brackets. Remember? So even I will show you again now. So Big Latin has those four types of data models. So one is about atom. So atom is a single value, such as a string or a number. Maybe, for example, big atomic values are scalar type. So one particular field is known as a atom. No? So that type is known as a scalar type. That appears in the most programming language, that is int, long, double, float, char array, byte array. Okay, so single field is known as a scalar type. And another remaining all are known as a complex types. So what is the complex type means? It contains various more fields. So for example, the tuple is a record. It consists of sequence of fields. So there we mentioned one field, here the sequence of fields. So each field can be any type. So it may have six, for example, we think the tuple has a six rows. I will show you the diagram next page. So we know the meaning of what is that example. We have that already. I showed you previous one. I will show you again. If you don't understand that words also, I will show you that. Then another one is a bag. Bag is a collection of non-unique tuples. So tuple is a small and bag is a big. And field is one particular atom. So bag is a collection of non-unique tuples. The schema of the bag is a flexibility. Each tuple in the collection can be contained an arbitrary number of fields, and each field can be any type. So any type we are going to be mentioning. For example, you can take one tuple. So we may have different fields in them. So that fields may contain the different types of data, any type. Then another one is about map. Map is a collection of, starting the unit one onwards, we are going to be see about what is map. Map is a collection of key value pairs. Any type can be stored in the value, and key need to be a unique. So in order to identify each and every map, so there is a, through the key value we are going to be identify the map. So there should be key value must be unique. The key of the map must be char array, and the value can be of any type. Okay, key value must be a char array, and the value is any type. So that we are going to do. So these are the data models in big language. So this was a diagram as a big Latin. What is a tuple? What is a bag? What is a map? Data types, as well as what is big. So here one atom, for example, see this. This is the integer data. One particular field, 2030. This is known as one particular field. This is a, what is the type? Generally, two main categories in the data types. What is one is a scalar type, another one is complex type. In the scalar type, we can known as one particular field, one particular data is known as scalar type. So remaining all these bags, tuples, maps, all those things are called as a complex types. Complex type means more than one value it contains to represent that particular data type. So see here tuple, here some order, EWR and so on. These total row is known as one tuple. These all number of rows is going to be mentioned as one bag. Okay. So here we may have, for example, map values. So this is a key value, and this is the key, and this is the value. This is one map. Yes, sir. Map contains two data in the map. So one is a key, another one is. So total number of maps is known to a group. That group known as a bag. Either group is a group of maps or a group of tuples are known as a maps. So this is the overall data types in a big Latin. How we are doing. Generally, we mention now in data type generally what predefined and user defined data types we are going to be talking about. So similar way here int float, that is the int float double character. Then we have a predefined and user defined enum and type text all those things are known. Similar way here the data types are these types. One is a scalar type, another one is complex type. In a scalar type, a single atom is known as a scalar, and the multiple things which we have in the data type. So that may be bag, tuples, and maps also. Okay. So this is about data types. In Hadoop context, accessing the data means allowing the developer to load, store, and stream data, whereas transferring data means taking the advantage of Peak's ability to group, join, combine, split, filter, and store data. So what is the meaning of here? what the developer will do with these data types. So in Hadoop context, we are going to be accessing the data means allowing the developer to load, even if what we are going to be used in big Latin means we are going to be load the data and we are going to be transferring some, applying some context on this. Then finally we are going to be get some possible output on this. What is that? So any particular value we need. So in a data type, what are the minimum things are there? What to find? What are the output we need? So particular column we are going to be group it, and everything we are going to be do on the data. So what type of operations we are able to do is we can group and join and combine, split, filter and store, sort the data. So these are the operations we can perform on. So it is a developer's choice to do all those things. Table 1 gives overview of operators and each type of operations. So these are the various things that we know that. So simply namesake we are going to be seeing about what is a load. So operations data access, how we are going to be do the operation. For that we are going to be use a load and store operator, both are same, load or store. So what is the meaning of this load and store means? Read and write data to a file system. So read and write data to a file system. So what is the meaning of dump? So in order to show the output on the screen. Stream. Send all the records through external binary forms. Send all records through external binary form. We are going to use the stream. So remember the stream is continuous flow. So what we are going to be flow here means external binary bits we are going to be. So for each, so what is the operator for each? Applying an expression to each record and output one or more records. So we are going to be something we are going to be for applying an expression each record and the output one or more records. So for that we are going to be get one or more outputs as a through that one particular record. So we are applying to one record and we are going to be get one or more records, sub records we are going to be get for this purpose. Then filter. What is the filter? So for that, yesterday also we saw what is a filter. We are going to be removed from unwanted data. So for that, for example, see here what is the meaning. Applying the apply predictive and removing the records that don't meet the conditions. So in a particular column, we may think that, for example, we are going to be fine. So what is the minimum marks we need to get? For that, whoever will get more marks, more than 12 marks, more than 20 marks. All are if you meet the record, then remaining those who are not meet the records. So that type of data is going to be removed from the record. So filter, we are going to be removing the unwanted data. So maybe here filter we may apply some requirements to that what to meet a condition or not, that we can mention. Then group or co-group. So group or co-group. So aggregate the record with the same key from one or more inputs. So the same key is there. So we need to make a unique keys. So we are going to be group that particular records into one or more inputs. We are going to be aggregate. Then join. Join means here, as usual, simple SQL statement. What is the use of join? Similar here also. Join two or more records based on a condition. Join two or more records based on a condition. So we are applying one condition such that we are going to be join two or more records based upon condition. So that condition should exist. So similar how we are going to be make it as a cluster. So some similarity should be happened in between the nodes. Then we are such nodes are we are going to be group. Same here. We applying some condition such that the condition will execute on this record. Then we are going to be join that one or more records. Okay, one record. Then another one. First one is about these are the data accessing operations. Then another one is about transformation. So transformation is a processing. Cross. So Cartesian product of two or more input. What is a Cartesian product? Cartesian product means, I remember the mathematical Cartesian product. So a divided by adjoint a into something we are going to divide. Adjoint a we are getting. So some Cartesian product we are going to be get. We are going to use a cross operator. Then order. So sorting records based upon, so key is a unique value such that based upon the key value we are going to be sorting records. Distinct means removing the duplicate records. Distinct means only one should be used. Then union. So merge two data sets. Union, combine. Then split. Divide the data into two or more bags based upon predict. So we are applying here also, we may apply some conditions such that we are going to be divide the data into two different bags. So one bag we are going to be different. So or we may consider here, we may split into inner bags also. Have you remember the concept of inner bags? Bags may contains another bag, so that is the inner bags. The data is going to be divided into bags are different bags or inner bags. For that we are going to be use operator split. Then so first one data access, second one is transformation. So another operations are debug. How we are going to perform debugs. So describe. So return the schema of relationship. So returning the schema and dump the content of your relation to the screen. So what we expected on the screen that we are going to be dumping. Then explain, display the map, reduce execution plans. So simply we can say that it is a help command. By that we can know that what operations we need to perform. So what are the schema of relationship are there. So if we want to know that what is the relationship, that we can use by describe operator, explain and dump. We can retrieve the information what we did on it, so that we can. So first one is about data access, second one is about transformation, and third one is about debug. Okay, so remember these operators along with the user that is the explanation. Load, dump, stream, for each, filter, group, co-group, join, and cross order, distinct, union, split, describe, dump, export. So these operators are categorized into three parts: data access, transformation, and debug. Okay. Once again. So my screen is visible. So the optional using statement define how to map the data structure within a file to the big data model. So there is another thing is about optional. It is showing another. Wait a second. So the optional using statement defines how to map the data structure within the file to big data model. In this case, big storage. So there we are going to be use how we are going to be divide the data. So that is column data. How we are going to be defined by using comma or by using a full stop or any delimiter you are going to be used to define the different set of data. So the data structures which passes the delimited text files, the optional as is again it is a statement. Option as clause define a schema for a data that is eigen mapped. If you don't use as clause, if you are basically telling the load default load function to expect the plain text file that tab delimited. So if you are using as class, how it will be. If you are not using as class, how it will be. So such that how we are going to be define the data, how we are going to be define basically data type, how we want to define. So that is by using this, that is using statements may use as class to define the differentiate between these types. Okay, so that is simple. So if you remember that first one load we are going to be use is big storage. No, starting class of this one I kept one big Latin script. So load 2013 some data.csv. There we are going to be big storage of comma some delimiter we are going to be used to differentiate the columns. Same here. So the evaluation of local distributed modes of running big scripts. So this is another important thing. This is also we discussed. So once again we are going to be discussed again. Before you can run your first script, you need to have a handle on how big programs can be packed within with the Pig server. Pig has two models for running scripts. Can anyone say that? What are the two models to run the script? We have two models. Even I will tell you for two ways of running a pig and three ways of running script. Have you remember? Can anyone? Tell me, we have running out of time. See this one. So total how the program, Pig Latin program is going to be run. So one is a terminal and we are going to be run it. Another one is Pig script. Another one is embedded Pig Latin. These three are running Pig Latin statements. So that is a program how to run it. So in Pig, how we are going to be run? Apache Pig, how we are going to be run? Either we can a local mode or a Hadoop mode we are running. So can anyone remember what is the difference between these two? From local mode, we are going to be use the we are going to be store and retrieve the data from the local system itself. Here there is no need of Hadoop database here directly. But what is the use of running a local mode? Simply testing purpose we are going to be use this local mode. Simply testing purpose we are going to be use a local mode. So in Hadoop mode we are going to be perform the operation, complete operations we are going to be use Hadoop mode. So grant shell, so the grant and open, that is a greater than symbol, it is ready to accept the Pig Latin statements one after one, how we want it. Then script, how we are going to be use a script. Here we are going to be save a script as .pig, that extension .pig we are going to be use. Then the group of instructions, that is a program we are going to be run by using a Pig script. There we are going to be use a -x command, whether we want to run in a local mode or Hadoop mode. That okay, even if I will show you in the next screen how we are going to be running. Then another one is the embedded mode. Here embedded mode we are going to be use some UDF. What is the meaning of UDF? User defined functions we are going to be used to define the Pig Latin script and we are going to be followed. So here the Pig Latin compiler is there. The compiler is going to be check the syntax errors of statements Then finally, we want to run that particular thing by using the commands only. Whether we are going to be use a local mode or map Hadoop mode, that we will check it while running the commands itself. We are giving the command to know that whether we are going to be running in a local mode or Hadoop mode. We can decide. So I will show you by using a -x command. We can define all those things. So what is the meaning of this local mode? All scripts are run on a single mission without requiring Hadoop MapReduce and HDFS. This can be useful for developing and testing the big logic. So that's why I told you for testing purpose we are going to be use local mode. So whether the logic is correct. So before going to be dump these statements into a Hadoop system, before it's once we are going to be check it whether it is uh, uh, properly tested or not, is properly executing or not, that we are going to be checking before, then we are going to be following. Then the local mode can be faster than going through a MapReduce infrastructure. Yes, sir. So instead of running the whole program, we are going to be check it for one whether it is properly running or not. So in a local mode, we are going to be testing when small things. Then if the local mode is faster compared to the MapReduce. The local mode does not require Hadoop. Yes, I told you here we don't have any Hadoop system, just we are going to be testing. When you run a local mode, the big program runs in the context of a local Java virtual machine, JVM, local JVM, it is going to be run. And the data accessed via local file system itself. Data is going to be accessed via local file system of a single mission. So in a single mission data itself. So local mode is actually local simulation of MapReduce in a Hadoop local job runner class. So local job runner class is going to be used for this local mode running the Latin script. Okay, the simple use of this one is, so in order before going to be dump our big Latin program into the Hadoop system, before itself we are going to be checking whether it is properly tested or not, whether it is properly giving the output or not, is there any syntax errors are there, such type of things we are going to be doing in a local mode. By that we can test properly that statements, then later we can dump into Hadoop system. So these local mode, all the programs are going to be running local Java JVM itself. Then a MapReduce mode is also known as a Hadoop mode. A pig is executed on a Hadoop cluster. In this case, pig scripts get converted into a series of MapReduce jobs that can be run on the Hadoop cluster. If you have a terabytes of data, you know what is the terabytes of data? The large amount of terabytes of data that you want to perform operation on, and you want to interactively develop a program, you may soon find the things showing down considerably. And you may start growing your storage. So we can have it. So even here we have various user-defined functions are there to define your data to store, or you can explore your data in various formats. So such that it is giving a very good platform to perform all those operations. Okay. So here direct we are going to be submitting jobs to the MapReduce. Here we are going to be using MapReduce. So local mode is allows you to work with a subsets of your data in more interactive manner that you can figure out with the logic. So by running the local mode, we can see one statement such that we can see what is the logic and how it is worked out with the bugs of your big program. After you have things set up as you want to them, and if your operations are running smoothly, you can then run the scripts against the full data set using MapReduce. So once we have a simple explanation about each and every statement, such that what are the simple logics we need, logics are missing. So that is it. For example, if you are applying, if you are doing simple operation in a simple manner, the same thing we are going to be applying for total set also. So if you are applying for one simpler bag data, the same bag we can apply for n number of bags. So if directly we can apply for n number of bags, then maybe number of bugs will be high. So if you are applying with one bag, so easily we can remember, we can identify and we can know that what is the logic we are applying on that. And if any errors are exhibiting, we can easily identify it. So the same thing we can export it into a total map reduce mode easily. Full data set. The script against the full data set using the map reduce. So checking out with the big script interfaces. So that is the three modes of interfaces are there. Big programs can be packed into three different ways. So one is a script mode. So that is by using a grant, we can, sorry, script mode we can use second one, batch mode. So that this is a method is nothing more than a file containing a big Latin commands identified by .pig suffix, the flight data.pig, for example. So here, flight data is the name of the file, and .pig is such that the file contains a big Latin commands. So that is a program vision. So how we can simply use a .c, .cpp, .java, .html. Same way here also. In order to mention the big Latin statements, we are going to use .pg. So ending with the PIG program that with the PIG extension is the conversion but not required. The commands are interpreted by the big Latin compiler to executed on order determined by the big optimizer. So in order to identify, so for that only we are going to use extensions .ph. Then grant. So this is a simple we can known as a terminal way how we are going to do that. So in a terminal we can run only what we can run in terminal. So for example, you open Linux operating system, we can open Control Alt. We are opening a terminal. How we can operate a terminal? So everything we can operate in a terminal by using commands only. For example, if you want to open any file to write, for example, how vi space program name.java we are given. So then it is automatically transferred into vi editor. Then we are going to be typing. Then we are going to be come out of the editor. Then come back to the terminal. Then we are going to be compile java c.java program name.java. We are going to be run the program. Then we are going to be see the output. So various commands there to run the terminal. Same here also we have commands to run each and every statement, big Latin statement. We are going to be using grant method. So here the grant acts as a command interpreter. What is the meaning of interpreter? What is the meaning of compiler? So there we can easily interpreter means line by line operations we can. Whereas we can interactively enter a big Latin and the grant shell command line immediately see that the response. This method is helpful for prototyping during the initial development of what if scenarios. So what we are doing. So whether it is coming or not. Before performing a big programs. So in simple. So what is the data set? What we given statement? What we got an output. So the simple what if scenarios. What is this and what we got. So simple immediate responses will get. So that's why it is called as an interpreter. What is an interpreter? So line by line execution. Okay. Then embedded mode. Embedded mode means big Latin statements can be executed with Java, Python, or JavaScript programs. So these make it into a user-defined functions. These functions we are going to be used within the Java or Python or any other programs in between we are going to be using. Simply we can use a JSP Java script now inside Java we are going to be using. Similar way, these big Latins we can make into a user-defined functions. That functions may use executed within the Java Python or JavaScript programs also. These are the three different interfaces are there to run pig scripts. So before two is running modes of a pig. So that is a local mode and Hadoop. This one is a script interface. Pig script, branch shell, pig commands, and embedded pig programs can run in either local mode or MapReduce mode also. So any mode we can run it. The branch shell provides an interactive shell to submit the pig commands or run the pig scripts. To start the branch shell in the interactive mode, just we can submit the command pig at your shell to specify whether the script or branch shell is executed locally or in a Hadoop mode. Just it is specify that in -x flag. I told you know how you can run the whether this a local mode or a Hadoop mode. -x flag, then to a pig command. So I will show you. See the following example, we can specify running your pig script into a local mode. For example, here miles per carrier dot pag is a file. Please be remember that here miles per carrier dot pag is a pig script file. So I'm going to be running pig -x local. So I'm going to be run this one in a local mode. So in order to run it in a MapReduce mode, same file name, we are going to be use pig minus MapReduce miles per carrier dot pag. By default, when you specify a pig command without any parameter, it starts the branch shell in Hadoop mode. If you want to start with the branch shell in local mode, you just add it to -x local flag. So default running is Hadoop mode. If you want to specify if you want to run in a local mode, we need to specify pig -x dot space local. If you mention, then it is going to be running in local mode. By default, it is going to be running Hadoop mode. So if you want to specify, we need to give pig space -x space local. Script with pig Latin. How we are going to be scripting with the pig Latin? So Hadoop is a rich and quickly evolving ecosystem with a growing set of new applications. Rather than trying to keep with all the requirements for a new capabilities, Pig is designed to be extensible via user-defined functions, is known as UDFs. By using user-defined functions, we can extendable all those things functionalities. So we can interchange one after one column with another column. Various patterns we can define and design, not only keeping the data in a simple manner. We can use for business interface. We can use various user-defined functions. We can write. UDF can be written in a number of programming languages, including Java, Python, and JavaScript also. This UDF, the previous MapReduce mode we thought that. So developers also posting and sharing growing collection of UDF online. So looks for piggy bank and data pool. Names to be just examples such as online collections. So these are the online collections we can receive the developer statements. So we may do this one. We need this one. Somebody is asking queries through these two online statement collections. They are going to be sent such that they can easily adapt and they can easily modify their data set and they can visible the output. Some of the big UDF that we want to part of these repositories are load or store functions in the manner of XML, for example. So data time functions, text, maths, and state functions. All those things are going to be UDF repositories. user-defined functions. So Pig can also embedded in a host language such as Java, Python, and JavaScript, which allows to integrate the Pig with your existing application. So it is a very much easy way to integrate with your existing application. So why? Because Pig Latin we are may our user defined functions may be included in Java, Python, or any JavaScript program. So such that even if already defined existing applications, we can easily integrate this one uh, to our existing system easy. So that is a use. It also helps to overcome the limitations in a big language. One of the most commonly referenced limitations is that we don't support the control flow. I already told that we don't have any if while for loops. We don't have any. It does not support any looping or conditional statements. So Pig natively supports the data flow, but needs to be embedded with another language to provide the control flow. So this script we can use in Java. There we can provide control flows. It is a Pig directly. We don't have any control flows or condition statements. So there is a trade-off, however, of embedding the Pig control flows language. So Pig we can embed it with other languages, then we can use the control flows differently. For example, Pig statements are embedded into a loop. Every time the loop is iterative and running the Pig statements, this causes the separate map reduce jobs to run. So even if we want to apply some iterative functions, so looping we want to through some Java language or any other languages, we can Python or we can use, and we can ready to reloop these statements and continuously we can run it number of times. So that is the map reduce job to run. So that was the end of the 15 minute about Pig, Apache Pig. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Simply you can discuss. 5 more minutes are there. Any doubts, you can ask me. So in previous we were learned about map reduce program. So there was a Java number of lines was very high. I remember we need to perform the map function separate and reduce function separate. Then we need to submit it in a map reduce program. Then finally we are going to be get an output. So in order to overcome these type of large number of Java lines, we were concluded into a small set of statements like a simple SQL statements. The Pig Latin came into a picture. So this is the one research project, and 2007 onwards it is handed over to Apache and it is running successfully. So anyone having doubt?